Hi, Tommy Bracco.
Hi, Spencer.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm like smiling ear to ear. You had this energy about you like the second that you came on. That makes me glow. So thank you.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. I really appreciate that.
So for people who don't know Tommy Bracco, which is a mistake if you don't, Tommy is a Broadway heartthrob. You know him from Newsies. You know him from his standout performance in Pretty Woman. Truly a standout performance.
Thanks.
Like just making a featured role into a scene stealer. And then you also may know him from Big Brother on your television set. It's been a very eclectic career for you, Tommy.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very grateful and fortunate.
So, Tommy, as you know, It's the Day. The show, y'all, is a video series where we shine light on lesser known musicals.
Yes.
So I want to know, what is something lesser known about Tommy Bracco that we may not know? We know that you're this Broadway cheerleader. We know that you walk into a room and instantly all eyes are on you. But what don't we know?
Oh my gosh, Spencer, you're really hyping me up. Okay, so I'm the kind of person that I like to always be busy. I like to always be doing something, being productive. And so when I got out of Big Brother, auditions were kind of slow, honestly. It was kind of quiet for me. I was in this weird place where I'm trying to not be in the ensemble as much anymore. I'm trying to work my way into more principal tracks. So I'm being more selective with auditions, basically. But in the meanwhile, I was kind of a little bored. So I wound up going back to school. I'm a student right now, and at College of Staten Island, I'm studying psychology.
Wow.
It's so different, so random. But it's working towards something. It's bettering myself in some way. And I'm going to continue to go as long as I've got free time in my hands. And then the pandemic hit, and then auditions really shut down. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm a student, who knows how long. Open-ended now.
I think that's such a human response. So thank you. I know, like, for myself, I try very hard to be human Spencer before actor Spencer. So I appreciate that answer.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to bring you back to, I think, 2017.
Let's go.
I want to hear about the Hairy Ape, because I don't think people know about the Hairy Ape. I don't know if you remember the Hairy Ape, but I'm interested in hearing about stuff that isn't as popular as the things that you've done that have made Tommy the performer that he is today. So I want to hear about the Hairy Ape.
God, the Hairy Ape was so great. It's so awesome because, you know, I'm a big believer in just the universe, spirituality, and fate, I guess. When things, you know, I think the Hairy Ape came at a time where I was auditioning for something, I wound up not getting it, but then I got the Hairy Ape. And now looking back, I'm so grateful that it was the Hairy Ape that I got to do, because the Hairy Ape was very different than anything I've ever done. The audition process was, you have to do a monologue, which we never have to do anymore as performers, never have to do monologues. It really tested my skills as an actor. It's actually, I would argue, the only time that I've got to perform not as Tommy Bracco.
Going off that, I think I want to go back. I want to say Pirates of Penzance at Barrington was 2 years before that. Was that 2015?
I don't remember the year. It might have been 2016, actually.
Why don't you tell me about the musical, your favorite thing about the musical, and your favorite thing about the adaptation that you guys did?
The comedy. My favorite thing about the musical is the comedy. It's so funny. It's so smart. Again, that was another time of my life where it was not just a typical singing and dancing blockbuster musical. It's an opera. It's an opera. It was written way back when. I don't know exactly when, but a long time ago. The speech is heightened. It was very different. It was a different world than I had been used to. And the team was so good. Josh Bergasse, John Rando is like truly one of my favorite directors that I've ever worked with in my life. He's incredible. He's everything. He's truly everything.
I would love to know what was more intense? Newsies casting or Big Brother casting? Because just to remind our viewers, Tommy just did the most recent season of Big Brother, which, if I heard correctly from our beautiful friend in common, Leela Rothenberg, Big Brother was a dream for you.
It was my dream. It really was. I can't pick, Spencer. I can't. Like, what was more intense? I'll talk a little bit about both of them, the casting processes. So, with Newsies, on the last day, the final callback, there were 60 boys in the room dancing. They needed 20 boys. They said to us they could have cast the show 3 times. And it would have been just as good every time. Different boys, each 20, anybody could have been cast. And it would have been incredible. Big Brother, the feeling of walking up to the CBS final casting room and meeting with all the executives from CBS, I've never felt nerves like that in my entire life.
I'm literally nervous for you right now. Yes.
I'll never forget it. Being in that room, looking around, seeing all the other people that are in for it. The process was just very different. You're locked in a hotel room. You're sequestered. You're not allowed to leave your hotel room for a week. For the auditions, the final callback week. It's crazy. You're alone in your apartment. In your hotel room, watching old DVDs of old TV shows, and you have nothing to do but think about your strategy, think about your interviews, think about the game. And it was so intense, so intense.
I've never gotten a glimpse into the reality TV casting life. So that's very, very fascinating.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
It feels like one thing was more physically demanding and the other was probably just more mentally demanding within the casting process.
That totally makes sense. That's exactly true. Yep.
Wow. Okay, so we are going to talk about A Year with Frog and Toad. Do you know anything about A Year with Frog and Toad, the musical?
I literally know nothing about this show. I actually never even heard of it, ever.
Perfect. So A Year with Frog and Toad was a 2003 Broadway musical. And while it's adorable and heartwarming and lovely and kind of changed the tone of Broadway for a bit, because this was one of the first, besides Seussical, one of the first children's theater shows, to make its way up.
Okay.
Which is really, really impressive. It didn't do totally well on Broadway. So what is A Year with Frog and Toad? It is based off the popular children's series about Frog and Toad and was adapted for stage. It was at New York Stage and Film in 2000. In 2002, it then made its way to the Children's Theater Company in Minneapolis, which is like one of the children's theater in the world. And then it came to Broadway.
Wow.
The show is about, now get ready, because this is a really, 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 really serious plot line. It's about a frog and a toad, 2 amphibians, and we watch their friendship and adventure grow and bloom from hibernation season to hibernation season. So I would love to talk about the cast, because there's some really interesting people who were involved. The first person that I would love to bring up is Danielle Furland. Danielle Furland was, you're gonna know who she is. She's the original Little Red in Into the Woods.
Okay.
Have you ever seen like the VHS or DVD of the Bernadette Peters Into the Woods?
No, yes, I have. I've seen clips of it, videos. No, I watched the whole entire thing, but years ago.
Okay, great. She's the original Little Red, which is a pretty big deal. She also is the original girl with the glasses in Sunday in the Park with George. Again, with Bernadette and with Mandy Patinkin. So she was this like child phenomenon who played all the great Sondheim young girl roles, and then she grew older and was in Frog and Toad on Broadway.
Wow.
Also in Frog and Toad was Jen Gambitis, who is currently the lead of Miss Doubtfire. She plays the wife and the mom.
Wow.
Jen was also in School of Rock on Broadway, Tarzan, All Shook Up. I think she was in Footloose. She's done like tons of things, but she played the mouse in Frog and Toad.
Uh-huh.
Who would have known?
Yeah, that's it's so cool, like, to think about that. Like, time goes on, and now she's going to be back on Broadway in Miss Doubtfire, and who would have known that she did that back then? Yeah, that's so interesting.
I would love to talk about the Tony Awards for this. 3 nominations, which is great. Total honor and a total privilege to even get a seat at the Tony Awards, let alone nominations. Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, and Best Original Score. A Year with Frog and Toad is written by brothers Robert and Willie Reale. So Tommy and I are gonna sing a song called Coming Out of My Shell. I'm excited to sing this with you. When I thought of doing A Year with Frog and Toad, I only imagined doing this song with you, Tommy. I think that you have a knack for comedy. I think you know how to make anything Tommy-fied. And if there's any Tommy song, it's Coming Out of My Shell.
I don't even know it, so I'm so excited.
Well, here is Tommy Bracco and myself, Spencer Glass, singing Coming Out of My Shell.
I was always timid. I guess it was because I may have been ashamed of who I am or what I was.
I thought, I'm just a snail, a lot of shell, a little goo. But all of that has changed as now the following is true.
I've got something I do, something I'm proud of, because I do it pretty well. Bing, bang, boom, give me some room. I'm coming out of my shell.
Get out the word, find me a witness, blow on a trumpet, ring a bell. Holy smokes, look at me, folks. I'm coming out of my shell.
There were folks who doubted me, I guess that made me nervous. I never even dared to dream of life in civil service. They said I wasn't fast enough, they said, hey, you're too gooey. But then I turned around and told them, phooey, that's all hooey.
I was nothing but goo under the surface. Then everything began to gel. Holy cow, look at me now.
I'm coming out of my,
yes, I deliver.
I'm coming out of my,